So, hello. Thanks for tuning in again. Finally got my hands on a new laptop and proper setup of OBS, so I can record these vids again. And thanks for listening again to me ranting about markets, talking about setups, and what I see and what I do. So let's get to it. Firstly, I want to talk shortly about the short I took a couple days ago. So what I saw was we got a first break of H4 trend since here around 84, 85k, and we saw also a loss of these highs, this support resistance area. We have been pushing up into it, back into trend, vice versa, got a pop out of it, and then we lost it. And we also lost H1 200 MA in the process. And in the system, that's a confirmation of the H4 trend loss. So that's when I started actually putting in asks for short, because that suggests we get a move to the H4 100 MA. I also want to show this initial short position. This one was entered more based on H1, and I must admit it was kind of an impulsive decision, and that's I recognized that, and then I thought I need to adjust this setup. If I'm targeting H4 100 MA, I should base this trade of H4, and I should allow room for full H4 trend retest and actually slightly above that. So I did that, and as we can see, well, the initial setup would have got stopped out, and the final setup didn't. So that was nice. I took some off at the initial lows. And yeah, actually, when watching PA during the day, I got a bit spooked by these wicks, which got eaten up quickly. So then, when we moved back down there, I decided already to take some off just to ease my mind. Yeah, and then we got TP1 hit, and then later on the day, actually got a touch of H4 100 MA perfectly, where I took 50% off, and I wanted to be out 75% because, as we can see, the H4 100 MA is still and was still very ascending, and that indicates that it's probably going to be a strong support or resistance line. Well, support line in this case. So in hindsight, of course, hindsight always 2020, but um, that would have been also a pretty good long entry. Um, because it's a pretty bullish pattern. As we can see, it was also in confluence with these lows, which were printed during the last couple days before. So it would have actually been a good bid, um, but I wasn't able to be active and analyze this accordingly. So I didn't want to do that. I will talk shortly um, after we finish the Bitcoin analysis. I will talk shortly about that bit of psychology actually. So I can show this on the daily. Actually, we saw this, for instance, in January 2024. Yeah, right here. You just see like we had an initial very strong D1 uptrend. Then you see it starts to stagnate, and then we lose it. It gets retested, and we fill the gap to 100 MA. And here you see we did spend some time above it, and I was actually hoping for something like that on the H4 last days too, but we didn't get it. And then you see when it gets quickly reclaimed and the trend holds, you can see we get another uptrend. So That's why I wanted to be 75% out, and that's also why I made the plan, which I also posted on X. That in the case of, oh, by the way, yeah, I got stopped out of the remaining 25%. I just left the stop loss there, and I wanted to keep some on in case we would fill the gap to 200 EMA. And actually, this area interests me because it's after the initial strong move, it's kind of the first place where we got a bit of consolidation on H1. And I can't specifically pinpoint why, but these areas often attract my interest. And I think for a good reason, because let me show you what happened. Here. It's not quite the same, but yeah, I don't know. I just find that area interesting in confluence with the former range lows, of course. So yeah, so that's it on that setup. So then I actually made the plan to wait and see what would happen first. So I was expecting and hoping for a bit more compression between trend and H4 100 MA until it gets really tight, and then get a breakout in either direction. So breakout and then a retest, which we could bid, and that would have been very nice if this would have been the case, like this, and then some more compression in between, and then we would have gotten a breakout and we could have longed this area. But we didn't, so we had to go with what we've got. That was a pretty strong move and actually straight into the former local highs. And that would have been my first TP if I would have been able to catch along from here. But I wasn't. So then I decided to bid the H4 trend earlier today. And I left some room actually initially to accommodate wicks into these former highs and the H4 100 MA because we had FOMC earlier today. But we didn't go that deep. So I got some initial fills initially on H4 13 EMA. And then when FOMC was over, market was adjusting the news. I decided to tighten the stop. And in that way, I was able to double the size at actually around the initial entry. I still have some bids here on 25 EMA and on this horizontal. But yeah, preferably we just keep moving up for now. So that's actually it for Bitcoin for me. I don't have any other bits or setups I'm eyeing at the moment. Still Tao interested me. I was actually looking maybe to get some more fuckery and get some bits filled here, but we didn't. Still looks pretty good actually on the daily to me. We can see we actually have ideal trend development here. Yeah, and I might could take an entry somewhere around here, and also for hype. But yeah, also no entry and price is still pretty far away. So yeah, monitoring some stuff, but no other definitive setups. So yeah, actually the last part on the psychology I want to mention is I started to try at least to accept um, I can't and I don't need to be slaying 3, 4, 5 trends in all different places. This is not my full time job. I mainly do this in the evenings and in my spare time. I live a pretty busy life, so that's not my objective. My objective is not to catch everything, but my goal is to keep taking high quality trades, following the system, and trades of which I'm sure I can properly execute on. So if I now take that into account, I shouldn't be making impulsive decisions when PA starts going in a certain direction. Like Raylan always says, it's just another trade. I need to keep stacking small wins over time. I need to keep taking good planned setups. So that's why I mainly switched to more high time frame plans. D1, H4. I'm still using H1 to spot certain compressions, like I did on the hype trade last week, which I actually should have held on to a bit longer, but that's another discussion. Or to spot for 200 EMA, which confirms trend loss or reclaims. So yeah, that's actually a mind shift I'm trying to make, and I think I'm doing that consciously, and that's really easing easing up the need to perform for me. So yeah, so I just wanted to add that and to share that. So cheers, guys. Thanks for listening again. See you. Bye bye. And always, as always, if you have any questions, just drop them, and I'm happy to answer them. Okay. Bye bye.